So you just picked up Vengeance Demon Hunter. Good, because this is the guy that'll get you actually playing the spec, not just mashing buttons and hoping for the best. I'll walk you through what matters, what you can ignore, and how to tank without feeling completely lost. Whether you're returning to the game or new to tanking, we'll break down your core priorities, how to handle big pulls, and how to deal damage without dying. So let's dive in. Okay, but how do I actually play this thing? What do I press? Let's start from the beginning. Vengeance Demon Hunter is all about managing two resources: Fury, which fuels your main abilities, and Soul Fragments, which are generated from your attacks and can be consumed to heal yourself and deal extra damage. Here's how you build them. Fury is generated by abilities like Immolation Aura, a fiery aura around you, and Fracture, a quick melee attack that rips souls from enemies. And Soul Fragments come from certain abilities like Shear or Fracture, and you'll see those soul fragments appear as little swirling orbs near your character. They don't sit in a resource bar, you'll see them floating around you when they spawn. You can pick them up just by being near them or consume them directly by using some of your abilities. Here's how you spend those soul fragments. Soul Cleave costs Fury and consumes nearby soul fragments to deal solid damage and heal you. And Spirit Bomb consumes all soul fragments and deal AoE damage while applying a debuff that makes enemies take more healing from you via leech. So your basic gameplay loop looks like this: build Fury and souls, spend them, and use your cooldowns to stay alive. And those cooldowns like Demon Spikes for armor, Fel Devastation for burst damage and healing, and Immolation Aura for AoE damage and Fury generation all slot into that core rotation. Alright, so hero talents. If you're just getting started with Vengeance Demon Hunter, your first question might be, which hero talent tree should I go with? You've got two choices: Fel-Scarred and Eldrachi Reaver. Fel-Scarred is what I recommend for most new players. It's simple, responsive, and it hits hard without needing perfect timing. You'll be popping cooldowns often, generating souls, and slamming out big spirit bombs during metamorphosis. It's upfront, explosive damage with built-in survivability, and it feels rewarding without being overly complex. Eldrachi Reaver, on the other hand, is a bit more technical. You're weaving in buffs from Reaver's Glaive, maintaining uptime on Reaver's Mark, and rotating abilities in specific sequence to double up your value. It can be stronger if played well, but it's less forgiving if you mess up. If you're completely new to tanking or Demon Hunter in general, start with Fel-Scarred, and you can always swap to Eldrachi once you've got the basics down. Alright, so here is a beginner-friendly Fel-Scarred single-target rotation for Vengeance Demon Hunter, step by step, based on everything we talked about so far. First step is the top priority. Start with Infernal Strike, it's off the global cooldown, so you don't sit on charges, and Fiery Brand on cooldown for damage and damage reduction. Second priority, Demon Surge abilities. When you enter Demon form via Fel Devastation or Metamorphosis, you use the empowered abilities from Demon Surge immediately. If you enter Demon form with Fel Devastation, you only get 2 of those procs. Use Spirit Burst and Soul Sunder right away. If you enter Demon form via Metamorphosis, you get 5 Demon Surge procs. Spend them in this order: Fel Desolation, Sigil of Doom, Consuming Fire, Spirit Burst, Soul Sunder. Once those are used, go back to your core loop. Use Soul Carver and Sigil of Spite to generate soul fragments. Use Immolation Aura, Sigil of Flame, Fellblade, and Fracture to build Fury. When you're spending Fury, you would spend it first on Fel Devastation, and if Fel Devastation is on cooldown, you would spend it on Soul Cleave. And if nothing else is available, you would use Throw Glaive if you're moving and kiting. For the AoE rotation, most of your rotation stays about the same. Your opener starts with Infernal Strike and Fiery Brand. You still want to generate Fury using Immolation Aura, Sigil of Flame, Fellblade, and Fracture, and generate Soul Fragments using Soul Carver and Sigil of Spite. You'd still prioritize Fel Devastation and Metamorphosis for Demon Form windows, and during Demon Form you still want to use your Demon Surge abilities like Fel Desolation, Sigil of Doom, etc. So here it's what actually changes in AoE. 1. Your main spender is now Spirit Bomb. Instead of spending Fury on Soul Cleave, your top spender becomes Spirit Bomb, which consumes 4+ soul fragments. Your core goal becomes build up 4+ souls as fast as possible, spend with Spirit Bomb, and repeat. 2. Avoid wasting souls at all costs. If you're about to overcap Soul Fragments, it's a higher priority to Spirit Bomb early, even if you don't have a full 4 Soul Fragments. If you can't build souls fast enough, then you fall back on spending Fury with Soul Cleave, but that's just your backup plan. And finally, Fracture becomes your higher priority in AoE. Since Fracture generates 2 souls and builds Fury, it's more valuable now. You'll often spam Fracture and then Spirit Bomb in AoE packs for maximum value. Right, to recap everything, Vengeance plays around 2 core resources, Fury and Soul Fragments. You build them with abilities like Immolation Aura, Fracture, Sigil of Flame, and optionally Fell Blade. You spend them on Fell Devastation and Soul Cleave and Spirit Bomb in AoE. When you enter Demon form, whether it's through Fell Devastation or Metamorphosis, you gain access to empowered abilities called Demon Surge. These glow and should be used immediately. Prioritize them over everything except for Infernal Strike and Fiery Brand. In single target, aim to use Soul Cleave as much as possible. Use Fell Devastation with at least 50 Fury, and use Demon Surge abilities while in Demon form. They only trigger once per cast. In AoE, you prioritize building 4 or more Soul Fragments as fast as you can, spending them with Spirit Bomb, and using Sigils and Soul Carver to feed your soul economy. Whether you're tanking raids or Mythic Plus, just remember, hit those empowered buttons when they glow. And that's it for the Vengeance Demon Hunter guide. If you were feeling lost before, I hope this helped you to make the spec actually make sense and not just a wall of buttons. If you did, consider subscribing. I've got more guides coming up for every spec in the game, all designed to keep things clear, fast, and fluff-free. As always, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.